Hey guys, welcome to this week's Coffee and Conversation. Want to go over a conversation I had with a man this week, and we were discussing which is easier to train, a puppy or an ex-wife. You might be surprised. There's some disturbing similarities. First, one of the things to keep in mind, temperament of the puppy. A high-strung, wound-up puppy or a laid-back Labrador are going to be different when it comes to training. And for the ex-wives, did you have an amicable divorce or did you have a high conflict divorce? This could tend to lead to some more raw emotions and a little different temperament in the individuals. Next, one of the things that jumped out at me was behaviors rooted in emotion take longer to change. So if you've got a puppy that's scared of something and you're trying to train them, it's going to take so much longer than if they're comfortable with whatever it is. Same thing with ex-wives. Okay, there's oftentimes a lot of fear, anger when you're looking at the emotions there. Also, every dog learns at a different pace. Plain and simple. Depends on the breed and the age and how long they've been doing something. So, we've all heard the adage, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. You can, it just takes longer. And it means you have to be patient. Same thing, if you've allowed a certain behavior to go on with an ex-wife for decades, don't expect because you're divorced, she's suddenly going to change behaving that way. So, the level of stubbornness in a breed or an ex-wife can be a factor. The biggest thing to keep in mind is consistency. You must be consistent with puppies when you're training them and with ex-wives. That means boundaries. You, of course, doing as you say, showing up as a high-quality man. I'm giving that as a given because we work with the top tier of guys, not the bottom tier. So if you've been consistent, you've worked on yourself, you're no longer a nice guy trying to please mommy, you've got to be consistent to help them understand the rules have changed. A lot of times this is misunderstood, and if they're used to getting their way for many years, you will see a lot of bad behavior when they don't get that sometimes right away. A lot of threats, a lot of yelling, sometimes a lot of emotional outbursts. You just have to stay calm and understand that this can eventually will all fade away. And remember, reward good behavior. It's part of the consistency. So you always reward puppies for good behavior. If you have an ex-wife who always asks at the last minute for a change in schedule and then gets upset when you say no because you actually are planning stuff, and she asks, let's say 2 weeks in advance because there's something on her calendar, well, let's try to be reasonable. You've got to co-parent together. It's a relationship that can be easier or harder. So in those situations, let's go ahead and make sure you try to accommodate those requests when they are asking them properly. And the funniest thing I saw in a couple of the articles were the statement, you're never actually done training a dog. Same thing with an ex-wife. Consistency all the time. Okay? So, again, if you've done work on yourself, this shouldn't be much of a problem. But keep in mind, you've got to be a little tolerant of some things and give the puppy or the ex-wife time to adjust to the change in circumstances so we can get the appropriate behavior needed so that everyone can be happy. All right, guys, have a great week. We'll talk to you next week.